day 27 of my extended 20-day water fast. So today was definitely another interesting day for sure. It ended up being a long work day for me, and the type of work I'd been doing is just swapping out these giant advertising murals all throughout the San Francisco Bay Area. So I was driving a lot all day. But let's see, we'll start with the numbers. Yeah, so got up. I didn't get to bed till like 2 a.m. 2 a.m. or so, but I got up at 7:25, and energy was pretty good for a period of time. But then I was noticing, I'm like, yeah, I stayed up a little too late. I should have gone to bed at like 1 a.m. And so because of that, I was like, I'm like, I just want to, experiment with just a little bit of caffeine. I know it was just probably a bad idea, but I still want to just notice what my current sensitivity level is. Since I'm far into this fast now, and I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be doing it, so I might as well start running some mild experiments, as long as I'm not introducing any calories. So that's what I did. So I went to a Pete's Coffee, and I was thinking about just getting I was like, what's like the mildest coffee you have? But then I just the French press coffee caught my eye, and so I decided to get a small French press of the lightest in caffeine one they had, and so I tried that. It was definitely very delicious tasting to me, but definitely, pretty quickly I could feel on my system, like, whoa, like my system feeling jacked. And that was after just like drinking a few sips of it. And that was like the light caffeinated one. So, so I started diluting it, with some water and stuff to just try to taper it down, just so I could enjoy this a little bit more of it before I had to put it down. But I basically just had that. I only drank part of it, just put the lid on, just kept in my cup holder, and got in the car and started driving around. So yeah, that totally wired me for the day. But then I ended up so I was very productive in running around, getting all these different murals swapped out. I hit a whole, 10 different locations, something like that, over several hours. And, but yeah, that caffeine definitely, even like, I stopped drinking it, I think like around 11 a.m. noontime, and I was still wired all the way up until past 7 o'clock at night. I could still feel it, like the remnants of that still coursing in my system. So I was like, damn, that was really strong. So so that's one of the other things. So if you ever think about trying some coffee while doing going without food for a while, definitely be way more sensitive to it, so just kind of got a confirmation for myself of like how sensitive I am to it, just for reference. So, it's good to have references. I know they're like, oh, you should know. It's like, well, the best way to really know, as long as you're not hurting yourself, the best way to know is to actually experience it, Now I know, not just heard about it, But anyways, so that was I thought that was kind of an interesting little experiment. Let's see, back to the numbers. Yeah, so I had a big drop in weight. I dropped 2 pounds from the day before. So I dropped down to 176.1. So that was I was a little surprised. I was like, whoa, 2 whole pounds, damn, like what happened? That was before the coffee, so I don't know. I think I was mostly drinking the filtered water the day before. Definitely didn't drink as much of the carbonated sparkling waters. pH again was 6, so it's been staying steady at 6. Went to the bathroom about 5 times. pH, the water pH was 9.14. TDS was 100 and EC was 201. Reading the wrong numbers. Sorry, the water pH was 9.44. The TDS was 103 and the EC was 206. So that's and then I had a really powerful coaching call with my coach that just been working through restoring my deep, intimate, personal relationship with myself. To overcome the past of being very disassociated from myself and being so outwardly focused on trying to please and trying to caretake and all that stuff growing up, and to just turn it in on myself and be no, I'm just have to focus on what does this feel, what does here feel. So it was very powerful. I had a very powerful session. Definitely processed a lot of stuff, and a lot of deep emotions were just coming up. So it definitely had a very very healing experience. Very getting more connected with myself, and living from my center, living from my heart center first, and then moving forward from there, letting that lead the way of where I should go in my life, and not be looking at external cues to make decisions about what to do, but always start here first. So, and again, doing the water fast, I think definitely is really helping to facilitate, these kind of this kind of deep internal spiritual emotional work, because it makes things are just flowing so much better, so I don't know, I think that was just kind of the highlights for the day. I don't know, I don't need to make a super long video this time. I don't have as much else to say besides that. So 27. I mean, I'm feeling, feeling good for the most of the day. Well, I mean, actually, I guess I was pretty jittery most of the day, and I just kept waiting for it to kind of taper off, and the tapering off was happening, but it was just this slow, long, drawn out tapering off. So by the time I actually had my call, he's like, man, I could tell you're not super calm and centered like you normally are on these calls, like I had been on the last couple of calls. So that was kind of very obvious. But what else? I think that's it. 27, 28. I mean, I'm definitely excited. I'm just damn, only 3 days to go to hit 30, to break a personal record too. My personal record back in 2012, I did 29 days, which I've mentioned that before in previous videos. So I'm definitely eyeing hitting that 30 mark, and to hit it feeling everything's going great, not feeling oh man, my body is just it's definitely at the end, and I need to stop, if I get to 30, wake up after day 30, come the morning of day 31, I wake up and I'm still feeling great, then I'll be okay, well, just at that point, just take it one day at a time, and just always be noticing, keep noticing where, what's my body feeling, what's my body telling me, how's my body looking, definitely, it's definitely become even more apparent that things are starting to flatten out. Chest area is definitely starting to kind of reshape, flatten out. It's like, it's like when you get to the last part, that's when you really start noticing the changes starting to happen, because it's like we have so much, it's like, a lot has changed, but because just relatively it doesn't appear that big of a change just yet. And then once you get to that last 20-30%, that's when all of a sudden, that's when you really see the changes really kick in. So, so that's part of my reason for wanting to push it, potentially to 40 days. Because I have a feeling that it's probably in those last 5 days is when I'm really going to see, the most dramatic changes. They're, most dramatically obvious to myself. So, but, I also see that, okay, I probably trying to get it all accomplished in one single fast is probably being a little lofty, and just pushing it too hard in one fell swoop, like trying to hit, knock it all out of the park in the very first try. It's more like, I feel like it's more like this first one is, I get 80% of the results that I need for cleaning out my body and getting rid of the excess fat, get rid of the first 80% that I need to get rid of on this first fast. And then do the plant paradox, nutrition, start doing that, hit the gym again, build up some muscle, fill myself back up a bit. And then in a couple of months, 2 or 3 months, do another water fast to then knock out the last 20% that I need to drop. But doing just the water, just doing the plant paradox thing is obviously that's gonna already cause some more of my body fat to fall off, I believe. So, but then I think I'll do a follow-up 20-day water fast. Once I'm down pretty low, then another 20 days. Hopefully that should do the ticket. That should meet the bill for getting the final parts done and also help with the skin tightening. And again, maybe that another 20 days is still not going to quite be sufficient to get the full skin tightening effect that I'm going for. So, I may have to do a sequence of, 20-day plus water fasts over the course of the year in order to get the full autophagy effect of tightening up all the loose skin, So, if that's what has to happen, then, then that's what I'm going to do, It's still a hell of a lot cheaper than and less traumatic than spending $30,000 on all the, plastic surgery to surgically get it all tightened up, and then, be left with additional scars and potential medical complications and all that stuff, So it's like, okay, spend $30,000 or, do a few more 20-day fasts, spread out every 3 months, do 3 months, 20-day fast, 3 months, 20-day fast, something like that. I think if I did that in a sequence, that it seems like that should do the trick. So, all right, well, those are all my thoughts on that topic. So, yep. So, on to day 28. All right.